Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's Sunday preview. Enter the Spitewood in the Warhammer Underworlds. This video is sponsored by the Game Bunker. More on that later. The Hellsmiths of Hashut subjugate everything that falls under their gaze, but sometimes they bite off more than they can chew. A failed war effort in Ghyran leaves a band of spiteful Duradin on the quest to immolate a sacred wood in the new expansion of Warhammer Underworlds. They're joined by 4 new collections of existing warbands, new legions Imperialis combat forces, and more in this week's Sunday preview. Alright, so we have a new Warhammer Underworlds Spitewood. So definitely some cool art right here. Looks like a battle between the Hellsmiths of Hashut and the Kurnoth. A new expansion for the latest edition of Warhammer Underworlds takes action to Spitewood, as a vengeful group of Hellsmiths attempts to burn the heart of this arboreal realm, while a band of Kurnoth's most loyal followers fight back the ferocious speed. Alright, so an expansion for Warhammer Underworlds, and then we got 2 warbands included inside. So we have the Kurnoth Minotaurs, and then we also have a new Hellsmiths of Hashut warband. Definitely some nice looking models right here. This box contains 2 new warbands, Kurnoth's Heralds and the Blood of the Bull, plus their War Scroll and Fighter cards, as well as a double-sided game board representing the deep forest of Ghyran. You also get a sheet of tokens, 16-page rulebook introducing new mechanics for the Spitewood board, and 2 Rivals decks, Hunting Grounds and Deadly Synergy. To use this expansion, you'll need a copy of Warhammer Underworlds Emberguard. Accompanying the new expansion is a set of 4 bundle boxes containing existing warbands, all grouped by the Grand Alliance. All of these boxes include the War Scroll cards and Fighter cards for each warband. Alright, so nice new expansion box set coming. You will still need Emberguard if you want to play this edition of Warhammer Underworlds. And then we also have 4 Grand Alliance boxes like what we've seen in the past coming out. Returning warbands with new cards for 4 of them, all packaged together in one. So first we have the Seekers of Shadow. So this is a cool warband right here. Definitely a big fan of these models. That's for our Stormcast Eternals. And then we also have a very cool Dark Elf warband as well. Definitely a big fan of this model right here. One of my favorites. These are great D&D characters or NPCs. And then we've got our little lizard crew as well. Again, some really nice models here. And then last but not least, we have the Sea Elves and of course the Fish and Crab model that everyone loves so much. So a really cool little setup right here. A collection of adventurous warbands prepare to delve into the darkness in the Seekers in Shadow box, which contains Xandri's True Seekers, the Shadeborn, the Starblood Stalkers, and a Lathan Soul Raid. And next we have Chaos, the Reavers of Ruin. So we have the Dark Oath warband, again with some really nice models right here. Beautiful sculpts for Warhammer Underworlds. Then we've got a very popular Skaven warband as well for all the rat followers out there. And then we have the cool Demon Slanesh warband as well. And then finally our Nurgle warband. Again, really nice sculpts, awesome models. Bring Devastation to Emberguard in the Spitewood with the Reavers of Ruin box, which collects 4 warbands and the Thrall to Chaos. You'll get the Gnarl Spirit pack, Skittershank's Claw pack, the Thricefold Discord, and the Wormspat. And that will be our Chaos warband. And then we have the Morbid Minions box set. So we've got a little undead action right here with some zombies and skeletons led by a little necromancer. And then we have the Skeleton King with his warriors. Very cool models right here. And then we've got some cool stuff for the Flesh Eater Courts. Definitely a big fan of this little map. And then we've got some cool stuff for the Flesh Eater Courts. Definitely a big fan of the little Batman. And then finally we've got our Ghosts, the last warband of the Undead pack. Very cool, great sculpts. The Servants of Nagash are ready to claim the souls of the living personally in deadly Underworlds combat. Morbid Minions brings the Exiled Dead, the Sons of Velmorn, the Skinnerkin, and the Thorns of the Briar Queen together in one box. And then last but not least we have the Gitz and Goliaths. So great ogre right here with the Tusk Hound. We got the little trap and then the goblins to go along with them. Then we have the Goblin Wolf Rider pack. And then the super cool little Troggoth with the Bat Squig. And then the other cool little animated minions. And then finally we've got the cool little Goblin Warband with some attack squigs. Very nice little box set for the destruction fans out there. Ogres, Troggoths, and Grots unite to smash and grab all the glory they can with the Gitz and Goliaths box, which includes the Hrothgar's Mantrappers, Rippa Snarlfangs, Mollog's Mob, and Zargbag's Gitz. So 4 nice new box sets right there. Definitely big if you're looking to snag up some of these hard to get warbands. And in the past we have seen them priced around $100 for all 4 warbands, so about $25 a piece, which is a nice deal for these cool models.
Now a quick word from today's sponsor, Game Bunker. Game Bunker carries a full range of Games Workshop products including miniatures, terrain, paint tools, and more. Game Bunker offers 15% off MSRP for most Games Workshop products with the discount code WHMS. Receive free shipping in the continental United States on orders over $145. Online orders ship out within 24 hours. Game Bunker is a veteran-owned business. Use affiliate link below, enter discount code WHMS to save 15% on most items at checkout. For fast, friendly service with a discount on your favorite tabletop wargaming purchases, visit GameBunker.net and let them know that Warhammer Man sent you.
And then we also have the Warbands of Spitewood card pack. So 16 packs of cards for all these Spitewood warbands. If you've got every one of the above warbands, or most of them, then you can get the updated fighter cards and war scroll cards for all 16 of the warbands in the Spitewood set. The cards visually differ slightly to those contained within the 4 boxes above, with photography of the warbands on the reverse of each war scroll card. So if you already got the actual warbands themselves and you just want the cards, you can pick up all 16 of them in a single card pack. Alright, and then moving over to Warhammer the Old World, we have the War of Settra's Fury. Settra the Imperishable continues his march through the border princes in order to reach the vaults, the range of mountains that sits on Bretonnian's southern border. In a new 48-page Arcane journal, this supplement contains background lore on the war in the border princes, as well as the rules for the battle march. A new high-speed game mode for 500 to 750 point games with force limitations, 3 deployment maps, and changes to scoring. On top of that, there are new Tomb Kings of Khemri rules for the monstrous mounts and incantations of the mortuary cult, as well as 2 armies of infamy, renegade crowns for the Empire of Man, and the Slayer hosts for the Dwarven Mountain Holds. Alright, so pretty cool. We got like a sort of combat patrol or like spearhead version of Warhammer the Old World. 500 to 750 point games with force limitations, deployment maps, and changes to scoring. Much more ideal if you're looking for a new high-speed game mode, instead of those long like drag-out battles of multiple thousands of points that takes hours upon hours to play. Alright, and then we got a couple of new Tomb King models. We have the Liche Priests, 1 on foot and 1 on steed. And then we also have the Royal Heralds. We got a new model on foot with a big banner, and then of course mounted on steed. Very cool. And then moving over to Legion Imperialis, we have some new Combat Force boxes. So here we have the Legion Astartes Combat Force. Quite a few models in this box set. Keep in mind these are of course the Legion Imperialis tiny scale. But if you're looking to pick up a bunch of tiny little models in one box set, this is definitely the way to go for Legion Astartes. And next we have the Mechanicum Combat Force. So once again, a bunch of really cool models all jam-packed into one box set right here. If you're looking to build a new Legion or expand out your existing one, this is perfect for Mechanicum players. And next we have the Sola Auxilia Combat Force. Ton of variation in these box sets. We got everything from big old tanks to little old Sola Auxilia infantry. We got a bunch of weapons platforms, some support guns. Very cool. And then we also have White Dwarf 517, October's issue. And then we also have some officially licensed products. We have the Tommy Space Marine plush. We have the Gloomspite Git Plush. And then we have a Blood Bowl Ball plush. And then moving over to Black Library, we have the Yarrick, the box set. Commissar Sebastian Yarrick, hero of the Second War of Armageddon, is a legendary figure who has undertaken countless great deeds and won innumerable wars for the Imperium, earning the respect of even Space Marine chapter masters. A new box set pays homage to Yarrick, collecting together the novels Imperial Creed and the Pyres of the Armageddon alongside the anthology Chains of Golgotha and other stories, all by David Emmendale. In a slipcase featuring screen-printed art, each case is numbered and the Imperial Creed is signed by the author. This product is available only while stocks last. So a very cool new box set right here. I do suspect this will be very popular as Yarrick is a classic character in Warhammer Legend, and this little special edition set will definitely be desirable. And then we also have the Horus Heresy Collection 17, including Horus Heresy books 49, 50, and 51. And then we also have Fulgrim the Perfect Son and Siege of Terra the Omnibus 3. So lots of cool stuff coming this week. If you're a Underworlds fan, I'm sure you're super excited for the new Warhammer Underworlds Spitewood expansion and then the return of warbands in these much more attainable packs, especially as some of them have gotten very hard to get. We've got the introduction of a new game mode in the Arcane Journal, the War of Settra's Fury, and then a couple of new characters for the Tomb Kings as well as some detachments. And then if you're a Legion fan out there, we've got the introduction of the combat forces for Legion Imperialis. Definitely a great way to grab a bunch of cool models for each faction in a nice big box set. So let me know what you're most excited about this week, what you're going to be picking up. Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And as always, special thanks to the Game Bunker for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products with code WHMS at checkout. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.